All right, my name is Aaron Rhodes, and this is the Shuttlecock podcast. We're sponsored by the Vinyl Underground at 7th Heaven, offering new and used vinyl at 76th and Troost in Kansas City, Missouri. This week on the show, we have Cam and John from AssJamz. What's up, guys?
Greetings.
What up?
What's up, man?
Howdy.
You guys are just kind of a fixture at this point of, kind of Lawrence rap shows and parties and everything. But I think you guys kind of got your start, like, DJing shows together in around, 2012.
Yeah, our 6th birthday is in May, so yeah. We were both door guys at the Bottleneck. Shout out to the Bottleneck.
Always and forever.
Forever. And one Cinco de Mayo, Mike Dye was supposed to spin some tunes because he had been, playing some music in between March Madness games. People liked it and were drinking and getting wild, and then Mike Dye got sick, and our manager at the time, Rob Schulte, shout out Rob Schulte, also a podcast man, he was like, yo, you guys need to do this. And we were like, oh, but
by the way, we're not DJs.
Never DJed a day in our life. And he was like, whatever, call your friends, throw a party. Don't think too much about it. And then it just kind of snowballed from there.
And here we are.
Yeah, and now I am in debt because of DJing.
Right. Here we are.
That's, I guess DJing and or rock and roll can ruin your life, I guess.
It's an expensive hobby.
Yeah. It is.
Or job, whatever you want to call it.
It's been both for us, and is both
Still
for
both.
us as of right now. It doesn't ever stop.
No, but yeah, do you guys have, are you kind of working on anything for, the anniversary? Or did you do, a big 5th year anniversary?
So last year our 5th anniversary fell at the same time as Middle of the Map. So we, lucked out. We were doing Flyover last year, and Mammoth was doing some stuff with Riot Room, and they were like, yo, you guys want to do the patio? I think it was the 4th of May, technically.
Was it? Or was it the other way around?
Or maybe it was the 5th. Either way.
Yeah, either way. We were there on the patio properly. Yeah, it was Cinco de Mayo. It was actual Cinco de Mayo last year on the Riot Room patio, and it was packed. It was
super fun.
Yeah, it was right in, the peak middle of the map times. That was super awesome. And then the day either before or after, I don't remember, we were at the Bottleneck to try and bring it back to where it all started.
Yeah, we had it was like a whole weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Awesome.
Yes.
And I'd read your guys' old interview in the Kansan, and it had kind of talked about how you guys were saying that you weren't really experienced DJs at the beginning, and you kind of just started with a playlist that you guys
had
shared.
We were. I learned later that we were selectors, but we didn't know that was a term yet.
That's a thing.
We didn't know a damn thing.
Curating.
Yeah, we were just throwing a party, and it worked out. I think it also helped that we were out in the scene enough that enough people knew us and wanted to come hang out. Also, it was always free. So it's kind of easy to get your buddies to come to a free party.
Yeah. That always helps, for sure.
But I think, just from watching you guys do your sets a few times, and I know you kind of talked about this before, but, you do tend to, let a lot of songs just play all the way through, and you don't get super intense on a lot of, mixing and stuff.
No, not really. There's a time, the way we've always kind of approached any kind of AssJamz stuff is there are a lot of songs where I want to hear the third verse because it's maybe the funniest, or it's the one I know all the words to.
Right.
So it's pretty easy to just let a song roll, because if it's a good song, people are going to still dance to it and they want it. And you can tell, you can look out.
Exactly.
And you'll know that people aren't feeling it. But there's no real need to force the crowd to keep up and change every, minute.
Right. Unless that's, the vibe that you're going for or what you're providing, so to speak. But, yeah, most of the time you can just tell if people want to hear most of God's plan. As of today, they just want to hear all of it, and that's fine. And sometimes maybe you're going to play most of it. Another night you'll switch it right after. I'm sorry. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, it really depends.
Yeah. But we've always definitely subscribed to like play if a song needs to be played all the way through, you might as well let it. There's no reason not to. Same way that if a song doesn't need to be played all the way through, you don't need to, like if the second half of God's Plan sucked, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, there you go. Switch it over, mix it over. It's really just whatever the situation calls for or how it is.
And wait, because both of you guys, you do like solo sets occasionally too, right?
Oh yeah.
And do you kind of like having being able to take more liberties in like the mixing or anything like that when you're playing solo?
I mean, yeah, I would say that our individual styles of DJing now are a lot different. Just one, we use different equipment, and that will change how you mix.
Right.
John uses CDJs, which kind of encourage that kind of long form blends and stuff like that, and I'm using turntables, so it lends itself more to quicker mixes. So I mix quicker by myself than I do when like him and I DJ together.
Right.
I don't know why, but it's just usually
just how it
happens.
Yeah, we've done a lot of gigs on our own, and styles will just emerge based off of the kind of gigs that we've done and where we've placed ourselves. Like I do a lot of corporate stuff. We both do weddings. We both still do bars and events and this and that. So, and then when we come together, which is again how it all started, it's just like riding a bike, So.
Oh, cat.
Yeah. Also.
Oh, yeah. There's Boggy.
Hi, Bobby.
Hello.
But yeah, you guys had also both played together in a band called Sovereign States, and which was you can
Oh, that's whatever.
get it off if you need to. But yeah, and which it was also called My Brother the Vulture at one point, right?
Yes, indeed.
And so, how did that band get started? Like, did you guys know each other before that band?
Oh my gosh.
Sorta.
Yeah, sort of.
I mean,
yeah, we met in college at KU. Shout out to KU. Really just in dorms and hanging out and everything like that. We met at a party, and we had just learned very fast that we were into the same things pretty quickly. And then, we got started talking about music and everything like that, and we were shifting like our sounds and genres and instruments around and everything at the time, and we needed another guitar player for My Brother the Vulture at the time, and he was like, I play guitar. So that's really how it happened.
We didn't know each other super long before I joined the band, like maybe a month or two.
Yeah.
But it's college, so you meet somebody and you're like, oh, you like Newfound Glory too? Oh, hell yeah, we're now friends.
Right.
That's it. Oh, you also like
That's
all right.
Bobby out here.
You can just toss her off.
Right. That's okay. Well,
Be
our
like,
interview's been great.
Yeah, have fun, Bobby. But yeah, you link up with someone in college and you're like, oh, we have similar interests, but we haven't met until now. It's like being in grade school. You're like, all right, let's just be friends.
Yeah.
And met all the other homies, met, Quinn and Myron and Alec, because everyone was living in, well, no, you were still living in Trail Ridge.
Were we?
Damn. No, maybe we knew each other for like 6 months. It does.
Yeah,
kind of blends.
yeah, either way,
It blends together.
It's very far back there, but
it was a quick meet, and then started playing, and it just kind of worked out.
That was that.
We did My Brother the Vulture for a while. It was like
a long time.
3-4 years.
Something like that, yeah. And we did the whole thing, played a bunch of shows. Oliver KC Lawrence did, the whole mini tour thing. And then it just transitioned into Sovereign States, changed genres, still kept writing songs and playing, and the whole shebang. Yeah.
And I'm guessing that the house you guys mentioned, Hogwarts, had a bit of a role in that band also.
That was probably the biggest role, because you and Myron and Quinn had done, well, Myron and Quinn backed you up on your solo stuff. Was it 57 brushes?
Yeah. Shout out. Very embarrassing. Don't look it up on the internet.
Nah, Google my man. Google my man.
No. Regardless. So I tried to do a solo thing for a while. You like acoustic songs, and Quinn and Myron both, they played bass and drums respectively, and they backed me up to. Again, we were just playing shows. We were just having fun. And then we're like, all right, this should stop. So let's try the whole band thing and write some cool songs, and that's how that happened. Because we all lived in the same house, so instruments were just right downstairs. So it just kind of lended itself to why not make songs? Why not do cool things? Yeah.
And so I was almost asking you about it before the interview, but yeah, what like you mentioned that you had like a lot of touring bands and stuff come through that house. Is there anything that you remember most fondly?
I'd say the biggest one that we did was at Harvard Felix Culpa show.
Yeah, which was super, super cool.
It was cool.
Who hooked that up? Who made that happen?
Myron probably.
No, of course.
Shouts to Myron.
Shout out to Myron.
He was our bass player, but also he booked all any tour that we did. But
he was a dad then, and he's a dad now.
Yeah,
he's
actually
care of business.
Literally a father.
Literally a father. No, our man.
But he had the business acumen side, and all of us were just shitheads.
Yeah.
So it was good that we had Myron that could email people, and I think he figured out that Harvard and Felix Culpa, who were on tour together at the time, were had an off day in between St. Louis and Denver, which is how it happened as well. The most memorable show that I have from when we were in My Brother Vulture is the Let Live show.
Oh my gosh, super great.
So right when Let Live was getting hot, they got signed the night that we played the show with them at the Bottleneck.
Epitaph.
Yeah.
Yes.
They got the email and they were like, yo, hell yeah. But that was easily, we were fanboying the whole time.
Oh, for sure. And it was at the Bottleneck, and there's a handful of people there, but we were just jazzed on it.
And it's the same thing though. Myron's just well, Let Live has an off day between St. Louis and Denver or wherever.
Yeah.
It's probably how a lot of amateur show promoters kind of get their start. And for some reason, I feel like it is a super common thing, in the Kansas City area, for bands to just jump over it usually, and
it's why it's why we have so many dope independent booking companies in Kansas City.
Yeah,
right.
Because you got to do it.
We learned how to do it in MySpace days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People would just look at so and so's touring schedules and be like, all right, well, there's an off day here, or Kansas is close. I'm sure if we can talk to such and such venue and our bands can play, because again, you're friends with everybody because you're out and you see the same people. You're bound to be like, do you want to play? And this person can play, and we can get enough money for them to
get you gas money.
Yeah, get you gas
Denver,
money to come here. But it's so cool because at the end of the day, people just want a band there. That's it. That's why it's happening in the first place. So
yeah.
All right,
and do you think I came along I feel as Facebook was becoming a big thing, but MySpace did kind of play a big role in some of your early stuff?
We were probably on the tail
end of MySpace days,
but we still used it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it was before. Because it shut down for a little bit or something.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure, but we were on the tail end. Facebook was huge because it was, before the algorithms and all that shit that messes with people seeing your posts. Right. So it was easy to be like, that's the same way that AssJamz came up. Well, AssJamz was more Twitter.
Yeah.
But shows, the event page on a Facebook was great. MySpace was better for reaching out to bands probably.
Right.
Locally, Facebook was more important.
Yeah.
But anything beyond that, MySpace was still pretty relevant up until 2011.
Yeah, and then Bandcamp, that's where we posted all of our stuff and all of our albums and stuff, because this is before.
Well, except My Brother the Vulture, we made CDs.
True, we did make physical CDs, and we made them in the basement of Hogwarts just because that was again before Spotify and all that other stuff. So that's how people still wanted music.
Man, I don't even own a CD player anymore.
I don't either. So
it makes me feel.
Got the new MacBook that doesn't have the drive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you're
and my old MacBook's drive is broken anyway. So.
Yeah. If you dare hand out music, you better be giving out USBs.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah. Free advice.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. Take that home with you.
Do USBs.
USBs.
But yeah, I was kind of wondering though, as you guys kind of started DJing shows, what the process was initially like for putting together your playlist and everything.
I can all kind of start from the beginning. So John was a graphic design student at KU.
Yeah.
And we've copped to it finally. Allie Fisher had a playlist that she would play in studio.
Yes.
Called AssJamz.
Yes.
And it was full of all, because he's 20. He's 27 still.
28.
28 now. I'm about to be 27.
I'm ancient history.
So we're in the same like age bracket. So it's like, yo, we love Nelly and we love
right.
like all the
Yin Yang Twins,
like the middle stuff coming out. Yeah, that like early 2000s kind of just party music that came about then, like when it's the death of hip hop and shit like that when they went to the bling bling era,
right?
And then
we
after
just
the
love
bling
getting
bling
crunk.
era, it was the
Simple as
crunk.
that. We just
basically crunk era music.
Yeah, some crunk, a little bit of hyphy.
Yeah.
What else? Just real good stuff.
But we only played the stuff that we wanted to play.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't. We never really thought too hard about it. Just
right.
We spent so much time. I mean, we worked at the Bottleneck and we went out all the time.
Right.
Shout out to Neon.
Oh God.
Fuck.
Yes.
Shout out to Neon.
Yes.
That was like the spot to go dance.
Yeah. That's really where it came from. It came from a genuine place of just like, we love to dance, we love to be out here supporting other DJs and friends and bars that we would end up working with and at. Mm-hmm. But when AssJamz started, it just came to a point of just like, I'd like to hear more of this. I'd like to hear more of this. It came from a genuine place, and then we obviously learned a lot in that process of just what that all actually means.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Curating definitely wasn't. It was a lot more organic at the beginning. It's a lot more planned now, at least for me.
Yes, to say the least.
Yeah,
for sure. But still, even still today, it's still the same stuff. Just going, I like this song. Let's see if other people like this song. When you're out and about, like maybe a song doesn't slap as hard, or other people are like, this is a popular song, or I don't want to dance to it. You know what I mean? It's just, it's still the same stuff.
And there are a lot of songs that we like. Nobody fucking likes. That we can't play out.
Exactly,
which is
totally
what are some of those?
I don't, just like weird like Ty Dolla $ign deep cuts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would love to play I would play an entire night of YG. I'd love that, but not as many Bloods in Kansas City as I'd like. But
is there stuff that you guys like know you don't agree on that you'd want to be playing though?
Oh, him and I together?
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing specific that, like, if he tried to play, like, I don't know, like, I won't have Justin Bieber in the club. Like, nothing like that. And it's really just like if there's anything we disagree on while we're DJing, it's just timing of something.
Right. Like,
so,
you want to play that already?
Yeah, like, maybe let's wait. Or, again, it's very organic. We don't walk into many things planned in that sense of, we're prepared, but it's not planned like that. It's just like, let's have fun. Let's, get the vibe going. We go off the crowd. We go off each other. We're going off of the energy of if people are having fun, they're like, more. We want to go crazier. Okay, sure. Let's go there.
It's only 10:30, but whatever.
Exactly. And then that's when we start going, should we? Should we? Should we? Yes, we should. Yeah.
Because we share pretty much all of our tunes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Heard. And you guys kind of got your start at Bottleneck, and you kind of worked your way through like Dempsey's and Granada, and you've done Riot Room shows now. Mm-hmm. But I know you've also recently done a couple shows at Aura, which is like kind of a different setting for you guys.
Super different.
Very different.
Yeah, what was it like getting the first show there? Was that like last year or 2016?
It was last year.
Yes, it was last year.
It was like last year around. We just did one in.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Time is weird.
Time is crazy. But shout out to the Social Club.
Yeah.
Good friends of ours and people that we work with. They hooked up that was their initial connection, and idea to try and do something interesting like that. And it was going to be our first time in a proper club setting for real. Because, AssJamz is an event itself. It can be placed anywhere. We put it in every kind of situation.
Yeah, small to big.
Exactly, and every kind of
in between.
Everything. But this was going to be the first time in a proper club, So you're back.
Hello again, Bobby.
We can.
But yeah, being in an actual club environment, especially for from DJing for so long, for 5 years, and then properly getting to a club, it was just like, so this is what this was supposed to be, so to speak. It just lends itself to a different environment, but nothing that we couldn't handle, so to speak, or handle in the same way of just like, it's still coming from genuine love and energy. Like, if people are dancing and loving it, great. Or if they're not feeling our YG and Ty Dolla $ign deep cuts, we change it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's more chances to explore different music as well. You know what I mean? We're not just gonna force people to listen to, you know, apparently West Coast music the whole time.
But DJing Aurora was tight. I was really excited to do it for those similar reasons. It's just, it's nice to be in a place built for DJs. It's like a total, even when like you start setting up and you're walking there and just the booth situation, everything. Production, it's all there with the focus of having DJs there, which we had never done before, and it kind of gives you, it kind of bigs you up a little bit when you're back there. You're
it's definitely a different feeling because again, we come from bands, and when you know we're used to playing shows, not being the show, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah,
like we're used to being on stage at the Bottleneck where it's. No shade, but it's an old red carpet essentially behind you, and just a rug, and you're like, "This is great, this is perfect and amazing," you know. But then you step into a different setting where there's lights and your name and bass and sound and all that other stuff,
and you're on like a marble countertop that doesn't move. The whole fact that the booth, I mean, we do bars a lot, so like we're just on like folding tables or regular tables or whatever.
Yes.
And they, you know, they wobble a little bit. So it was, I don't know. I thought it was really cool. I was like, I can
a proper booth.
I can get really aggressive, and it lends itself to having more fun.
Yes.
It's also the same thing. Like it was the same when we went from Bottleneck to Granada. Like the first big Granada, when we did New Year's Eve at Granada for the first time.
Yeah.
Whole new.
Yeah. Literally wept.
Yeah, straight
Literally,
up. We cried at the end. It was tight.
Literally cried.
Because it's so much different. It went from like Bottleneck, which was, you know, not low key, but like really busy, but like
as low key as that can
tight,
be.
sweaty,
small,
very intimate, to Granada, which was like, yo, we can actually like put on a show, man. We can put on a production, and we can take what we like learned from being in bands, like crowd work and just even small stuff like performing, small stuff like that.
Yes,
and it's just cool to be able to utilize that, and it's easier to utilize that in bigger spaces.
Yeah, which is great. Shout out to all of our production homies who help us put on a good show.
Yeah,
because that's what it's about. I mean, again, the same stuff we learned from being in a band. How can we put on a show? How can we do this? How can we get the crowd as involved as they can be? How can we play off them and vice versa?
Yeah, because you guys have had like lighting and visual people kind of work with you guys before too, right?
Oh yeah,
for sure. And we've had every kind of homie, if they can help. You know what I mean?
Even
whether
starting
that's
at
video or photo or whatever you can or want to do. Yeah.
Even at Bottleneck, we had, it was like right when our homie James was putting together his production company, and he was like, yo, I got all these lights, I want to set them up.
Right.
Can I do that? And we were like, yeah. And it looked like a fucking spaceship. It was awesome.
Exactly.
So,
even still.
Yeah.
But the Bottleneck should get marble tables for you guys.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Never. I'm not going back until it's all marble. The whole stage.
We need
marble.
Mega production, marble tables. And 46 bottles.
Really big rider. Really.
Yeah.
Huge rider.
Yeah.
2 large pyramid pizzas
and 9 boxes of Gushers. So we're not stepping foot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the kicker, right?
That's right.
9.
That's all right.
No more, no less.
Exactly.
No, but yeah, and one of the times I've seen you guys, though, was at the Lil Uzi show at the Uptown, and, like, I know you guys probably, like, how long would you say, like, an AssJamz night DJ set is, you know? Like, how long do you guys usually go when, like, you're, like, the main show?
3 hours.
3.5. It's changing ever so, you know, it's always different. You know, back in the day, we used to start at
midnight.
Yeah.
True, yeah. When we first started, when we were doing it at the Bottleneck, initially we were just like, because we worked at the bar, they'd be like, yo, we have a show and it's ending at 11:30. You guys want to do an AssJamz at midnight? And we'd be like, yeah. And then we tweet it out. That's why our name is a hashtag, just because at the time it was literally a hashtag.
Twitter. Yeah.
So, shit. I just started spacing.
How long the sets were back then?
Yeah, I mean...
so the sets would only be,
an hour and a half
because it's late.
And then
but then we get our own night, so we're starting at 10.
Yeah.
So then it's 3.5 hours. If we do one at Granada, we'll still usually start at like 10:30.
Yeah. Or if there's an opener, like a whole evening can be literally from like 9 to 2 or something like that.
Yeah. But then when we did Aura, that starts at 9 and that goes till 3. So
Oh yeah,
that's a 6 hour.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought like just for the purposes of that Lil Uzi show, like you guys were on almost 2 hours in the middle of the show, and I just thought that was like crazy impressive.
We were bugging out though the whole time.
Yeah, just
because we were only supposed to play for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So we started and we were like, we were quick mixing, which is trying to play as many hits as we can because we learned very, very quickly at that show that like if you're DJing at a concert, it's totally different than DJing at like just people want to come dance because they don't really care. They don't want to dance. They're trying to see the show.
Yeah, I don't care.
They just want you to play the shit that they know.
Yes.
So it's bang, boom, and we, after a while, we were like looking at our watches.
Yeah, looking side stage and just
looking side stage, being like, keep going. He's not here yet. He's doing his thing, and you're like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were there for
very, very thankful, especially now looking at everything that we've done. Very thankful that we've learned how, we just got thrown in the fire like that. But yeah, it's a completely different beast trying to handle just like being in the middle of a Uzi show and people being like, who are they? We don't care, stuff like that. And again, now that we've seen some other DJs and artists open up for bigger artists,
we now know like it's hit the chorus, hit an explosion sample. I didn't hear y'all. I'm doing it again.
1, 2, 3. Can that be its own segment? We'll get there. Never mind.
We can talk.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
No, let's do it now. What
so,
all right, let's okay. Hi, strap in. Let's talk about showmanship. Let's talk about it because it's interesting. It's super. First of all, this is not shade. This is a discussion. Let's start with that. Let's start with positivity.
Sure. Yeah.
I love that we come from bands, shows, everything like that. So this is all super interesting and super great that we're learning that the ways that certain shows are handled seems to be, what's a good word, formulaic in the way that people grow used to it or people expect certain things. And we found it amusing whenever we would go to a show and, say there was another opening DJ or it's an artist DJ, and we would notice the counting thing, which, first of all, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. I'm just ribbing and razzing. However,
there's just a lot of it.
There's just, long story short, there's a lot of it. And it's just like, what, how, where, why are we stuck on this? How can we provide something different? Do people grow to expect that? Are they angry if they don't hear it? It's a discussion.
Yeah, touring DJs love counting to 4. I don't get it. They love counting to 4.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand why they do it because you want the crowd to know, like, hey, the thing that you like is coming, and it's coming in 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
But it's over and over.
It's a lot.
I was at a big DJ show like 2 weeks ago, and I counted in an hour set 14. 14, 1, 2, 3, 4s.
Doing some DJ math over here.
Yeah, I was like pretty much every song. And it was EDM, so it's like a little different. But I have a feeling that's where it's coming from. Is like the expectation of big drops in electronic music.
Yes.
Still translates to hip hop shows and stuff like that because the drop is just the hook. The drop is just the cool part of the song that everybody knows the words to or whatever it is.
And I don't know why, but just for some reason when you were talking about the count, I was like, I just thought of Fuck Up Some Commas, and I'm like, that is the song I think that
1, 2, 3, 4. Fuck Up Some Commas. Exactly.
No, but I mean, it does lend itself to be kind of perfect for that. Yeah. So I do understand.
Yeah,
absolutely. But
it's definitely a thing to do in future songs, just in general.
But no, yeah, was that something you kind of thought about too when you were at Aura? Like, because that might be like a more electronic
what do they
crowd?
Expect from us as non-EDM DJ kind of stuff? Because that is their bread and butter. It's like straight up club DJs.
Yeah.
Which we're not really. I mean, we are, but not in the same vein of a lot of DJs that they book normally.
Right.
But me personally, and I know that we talked about it when we were initially doing it, it was cool because I was like, I have a bunch of remixes that I don't play at Dempsey's or Riot Room or whatever, just because it's not like the right vibe necessarily.
Yeah.
But Aura's the right vibe, so I don't know. I definitely played some stuff that I don't normally play.
Yeah.
And it was cool to have that freedom, but I still didn't count to 4. So.
and you know, it's always great, and you know, it's a great opportunity to be able to introduce people to other genres or other songs or new stuff in general. But you know, sometimes you can try. You know, it's a DJ's job per se to try and do that and try to educate people in that way. But also at the end of the day, you want people. You know, you're providing a service in that scenario, so you want people to be happy. So. You do what you can in a given scenario. You know, me personally, I don't play too many EDM remixes at Dempsey's or anything like that. There go the claws. But, you know, when given the chance, we love to play music that we don't normally get to. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a chance where we can play any sort of, like, new disco or anything like that, we're on it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or if...
House.
Or if we do, like, a complete, like, a Prince tribute night. Amazing. That would be awesome, you know? So it really just depends the circumstance.
You gotta be able to play everything, because whether or not like whether or not we want to play a certain thing, if the whole room wants this thing, we gotta give them that thing. Yeah. We just get lucky that most of the time people are fine with what we're playing and having fun. So that's great.
I think you guys kind of have done a good job of like branding your sets to a certain extent, because you know, people will kind of know what they're gonna hear if they know they're going to see AssJamz.
Truly,
so,
yeah,
which is
absolutely,
that's a blessing. You know, that is a blessing to be able to have that, so to speak. So thank you.
Oh yeah.
And
another kind of notable show that you guys ended up on was Flyover last summer, and I know that kind of turned into kind of a mess at some point, but
it was a wild day.
It was a learning experience.
Yeah. What would you say you learned from that day?
Always carry backup USBs ready to go, record box ready, because the only reason anything happened musically at the beginning of Flyover was because
half of it.
Because John had his USBs like ready to go.
Right.
Everybody's laptops were like crashing because it was like 115 degrees on stage. Like it was nutty. Like the weather was just on. The weather was against Flyover. Like shouts to Mammoth for still making it. You know, it still fucking happened. It still rocked, and they're doing it again, which is tight.
Right.
Because Mother Nature did not want that shit to go down smoothly, because it was 1,000,000 degrees at the beginning of it, and then it rained, and it was a whole thing.
Yes.
Got some good pictures out of it.
Amazing pictures. Shout out to Mike.
But no, it was a nutty day. Just dealing with that kind of large scale
festival
stuff. Is
straight up
wild.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Mammoth. A blessing to you, and shouts out to you for everything involved in that. Thank you for letting us be involved. But in terms of what we learned, what didn't we learn? Like, just like he said, again, shout out to Pioneer. Everyone's laptops were just crashing because it was so hot, and that, first of all, that's never happened to me before ever in design and DJing and anything. Which, again, great experience, because that's just bound to happen. You know, so when artists were struggling, when they were like, my laptop crashed, I don't know what to do. You know, I had a bunch of USBs, and we have like USB necklaces, because thanks to that moment, if you're just without it, we just would have been up shit creek.
It would have just been it would have been, you know, 5,000 kids there early to see the locals, just like sitting there being like, damn, house music, huh? Not the genre, but like just music. The sound guy had to plug in his phone.
Exactly.
I think a couple of the sets had to be played through a phone, like via the sound booths and stuff, just because it was so hot. It was wild. Oh my god.
Yeah, and even one of the artists, shout out to Smoke Perp, because he you know, was going through the same stuff. Where it was just like, hey, hope somebody can play my stuff. And if I hadn't had my USBs ready to go, because for the main artists there were, you know, a pair of CDJs up there, which I had been used to, but I hadn't DJ'd for a big artist yet. Especially, you know, I wasn't prepared because we just kind of walked into it. So thankfully we were able to, while I handed Boats one USB while
Yeah.
he DJ'd out in the crowd, while I ran backstage, filled the USB with Smoke Percocet, got as set as I could, and threw him in there and just started his set.
The whole team. We were all flying by the seat of our pants.
Running
the whole day.
everywhere, crazy. So, and yeah,
stage managers, stage hands,
everything.
They were trying to give Mike the unofficial third AssJamz guy,
Right.
Mike Gano, photo and video homie.
out.
He was like running around doing so much stuff. They were like, "Yo, you just need a walkie-talkie.
Yeah,
like,
we just
let's
need
just
you
give
back
you
here."
a walkie so like you can
Exactly.
communicate with us."
Exactly. But everyone did like the best that they could given every circumstance. So, you know, once we were just kind of corralling, trying to host people, because, again, people were passing out because it was so hot. It was incredible. Like, you know, just a way that was like, I can't believe this is happening. But, you know, it was just wild. And then towards the end, you know, some artists were going, so we got to cool
Once
out.
Uzi and Playboy went on, it was pretty smooth sailing, and I was like, tight. We're out of the woods.
Yes.
This is great.
Yes.
And then I think Josh, the stage manager, comes up.
Yeah.
He's like, "So there's a big ass thunderstorm rolling in.
Right.
Be prepared to work with that." And I was like,
Okay.
cool. All right,
of course.
we'll
I can deal with a hurricane.
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that storm rolls in during Ray Shremmer's set.
Yeah.
And it was cool, cool looking and wild, but
Right.
then it's torrential downpour right
Right.
before Gucci Mane.
Right.
I gotta shakily read like a statement on a mic in front of 10,000 angry people being like,
Right.
"Hey, sorry guys, everyone has to leave the amphitheater."
Yeah, just
You're like,
no
"Oh,
big deal.
man."
Yeah, and
Never
then-
thought I'd have to do that in my
right,
life.
and then just
which is
dealing with
wild.
like, is it on? Is it not? Is it raining? Is it not? Da da da. But then, lo and behold, Gucci just.
Shit, even I left before Gucci Mane went on.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
I had to go.
I thought it was over.
Yeah.
But then, not many people know this. At the end of the show, when the rain stopped, not really stopped, but it stopped. And Gucci was about to go on. You know, we were still trying to put the show together. So they said to me, because I was the only DJ there, like it was just Gucci's crew, me and Mike and Mammoth and everyone who works at the venue. And they're like, be prepared to do literally everything. So I was like, oh yeah, of course, absolutely, of course. But then, you know, God willing, everything turned out okay. You know, Gucci's DJ and Gucci Mane himself just it killed it for the situation that it was. So
Yeah, the
again,
500 people that stayed were very excited.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I drove-
Nothing but kudos.
I
to
drove through a
all of them.
tsunami and then set up at the right room.
Yes,
And then
because we had an after party afterwards,
and that
which
shit was fun too.
It was amazing. Yeah,
So-
amazing. Yeah.
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 And there you have the definitive Flyover story.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I
We
hope
were literally there on stage.
it was crazy.
Yes.
I hope it. I don't know. I hope it doesn't fucking happen weird like that this year.
No, yeah, they have it in May this year,
Yeah.
so hopefully it'll be a little.
That's true. It
more
was
mild.
in July, which is
Yeah.
just a rough time.
It is.
But,
No Flyovers on Cinco de Mayo this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that could have been tight for our birthday.
right, that's okay. But yeah, it was just a wonderful experience. I'm glad we got to be involved in
It was
a
cool.
lot of aspects of it.
Yeah.
And it was a huge learning experience. Great to see all the artists. Great look for all the local people. Honestly, it was more of a great look for the local artists than us at all. Like they got to shine. There's a lot of great videos of folks, and a lot of people got turned on to them through that. So
All the locals.
literally all
it
of
was
them.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
shout out to
it was
all
tight.
of them for that shine, and also shout out to all the touring artists for even agreeing and for being there, regardless of the bag or whatever, because it's always great to have those types of artists in our
In
area.
Kansas City, yeah.
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 And speaking of like these bigger touring artists, though, you guys have had a couple AssJamz shows where you've brought Lil Yachty
Oh, yeah.
and Yin Yang Twins in before.
that
I
was
think
good.
the Yin Yang Twins one was the first time I saw you guys. I'm pretty sure
That was
amazing.
early. That was early
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, that was
Well, early
too.
on.
Yeah.
But I mean, that shit was tight.
Yeah.
I've
Again,
never
shout out
seen.
one time to Mammoth.
I've never seen a man chug so much Patron at once.
True, that was amazing.
The shorter Yin Yang twin just takes
Ying, if you will.
the yin to the yang. He I mean, he'll put a half of a.
And then dude just crawled across the stage. Like, man, that's dedication.
They
I
were
think.
just expressing themselves. And again, this was super new to us because it was a normal AssJamz to us, and then it was a show, and then it was mixed match, and then everything in between, and they were just hanging out.
Yeah, they were in the middle, and then they like hung out while we kept DJing, and that was cool.
Yeah.
Same
kind of idea that happened with Yachty, though.
Yeah. It was just,
Yachty was, that was the nuttiest time.
Our performance,
that was
to say the least.
Popping.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Crazy. But
super fun.
I mean, I hope there's more artists in AssJamz and more events like that, like wherever. So.
Yeah, do you have like a wish list of maybe kind of like trap artists or like 2000s rappers that you really want to get in there?
Ty Dolla $ign.
You want Ty Dolla $ign?
Ty Dolla $ign.
No, he has played Riot Room before, hasn't he?
Probably.
I'm sure.
I mean, Riot Room gets a bunch of dope shit, so
absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised that at some point he slid in there. He's been doing it for so long.
For real. But who else?
I mean, Nelly.
Right, again, of course.
Nelly, Pimp Juice was it Pimp Juice on your first CD?
What's it called? Nellyville.
There it is. That
Nellyville.
has Pimp Juice on it.
So good.
Man.
So good. Who else would be good?
I'd love to do like any like old school legends or what. Like I mean, Snoop Dogg. Like you name any of the legends, and that would be the tightest shit.
Amazing for sure.
Like when Public Enemy was in Lawrence, like that was the coolest thing,
cool.
and I was like, so. Shout out to
Yes.
Ebony Tusk one time. I was like, that's so cool. You get to be on the same stage. So.
And I'm sure, like, just being in a college town, you've had maybe like KU athletes kind of pop in or something like that. Like,
they're the homies.
Has there anyone like kind of showed up that you're like really excited to see?
Yo, Devontae Graham has been banging with AssJamz the whole time. He's the homie.
Right. Fans. Otherwise, cannot confirm or deny anyone who has attended. But yes, I think we have some fans who enjoy it for sure. Yes.
The players show up and they're all super fucking cool. So it's really tight when they come through because it gives us a little bit. I mean, we both live in Kansas City now, but Lawrence is still the home base. John is literally from Lawrence, so. But it's just cool that it makes it feel like the town is showing out because KU is kind of the national brand of the town. So of course it's cool when KU backs us up.
Right.
And like besides maybe Aura, because that's kind of a different setting, but like do you guys notice a big difference in like the audience and like what they want when you're playing in KC versus Lawrence?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that might just be an age thing though, because
mainly, yeah, I'd agree with that.
Like KC's a little older crowd usually.
Yeah, KC's old, like an older crowd, and they're just like, I feel like they're just a little more receptive to non-hit stuff. Again, I think it's just an age issue. Like I DJ in Lawrence still a lot. I'm at the Tap Room and Luis's and spots like that, and it's weird because it is a very striking difference between like I can play songs that hit really well in Kansas City that don't necessarily play well with the college crowd.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I assume it's age, but that's what keeps it interesting because even it changes within Lawrence. Like stuff I play at Tap Room will play differently than if I play it at Luis's.
Yeah, if you play a set at Bottleneck versus a set at Tap Room, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but you could probably play like an all house deep underground set at Tap Room and people would be like, this is about right.
I think it's the low ceiling.
Yeah, low ceilings first of all change everything.
Yeah.
But then, because I DJ a lot or I play a lot at Replay with my friend Sean who goes by High Westis. Shout out to Sean. And the vibe there and the acceptance there has, first of all, changed a lot, and it's really receptive to, I'd say, just about everything. It's really different. Excuse me, watching what happens in KC and what happens in Lawrence as far as just like what's happening here, what strikes here, what doesn't strike there. It's super cool.
Yeah, and I've only been going to the Replay for maybe like a year or two and like still not even that regularly, but I have heard like a lot of people talk about like how the energy there has kind of changed. Like it's probably more like inclusive and less kind of like bro-y than maybe it used to be. Is that something that you guys have kind of
I don't know
thought
if
about?
broy would be the right word to how it used to be, but it definitely just used to be, and this was Lawrence in general, it just kind of used to be a little more macho of a town, I guess, in general, all throughout genres of music and people and places and things. And the replay now is so super inclusive with everybody, and it's tight because you get to see cooler shows now. You get to, like, the crowd is different, and that gives us the ability to, like, play different songs.
Right.
Just because they'll get requests and they'll be like, yo, I didn't think anybody would want to hear that. That's perfect. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, sorry to cut you off.
No, yeah.
At the end of the day, it is a college town, so people will naturally cycle in and out of Lawrence. Like, for as long as we've lived and played and been in Lawrence, like, the energy does change, you know? Like, we weren't always DJs. We went out to go see DJs. And we weren't always the bands to go see. We went out to go see bands. Mm-hmm. Just like we aren't now, you know what I mean? Like, it really just depends. Like, the energy always shifts to certain bars or areas or who's running what or who's playing where or who has homies that will always come and support them at X, Y, or Z. So it's really interesting to watch the energy change there. And, you know, I don't know if that makes us or me an old man, but it's interesting to see for sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you don't want to be playing the same club to the same people 5 years in a row.
No
like,
way.
Yeah.
No.
Got to keep it fresh, both. Like, we have to keep it fresh, but the crowd keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't, you can tell on the other end of the, you know, the decks or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, replay's tight. I don't know. I always love, anytime I've ever gotten the chance to DJ on the patio, like in the warm months. Woo! It's one of those spots, it's similar to Tap Room, similar to Riot Room even. It's just like people go there for one reason, and that reason is like, oh, there's a DJ, I'm going to go dance.
Yeah.
Like, fuck the bullshit. I'm going to go see a show inside and then dance outside.
Yeah.
And it's always really cool. Like, Young Bull plays there all the time. And it's always cool to, like, work with whatever DJ's playing outside.
Shout out to Approach.
Yo, shout out to Pro, for sure.
Yeah.
The OG homie.
True. And yeah, but Bottleneck is always home. Always, forever, because that's just where everything happened.
I've pooped too many times in that upstairs toilet for it to not be my house.
It's literally home forever. So, I mean,
that'll be the quote I pull out of the.
I believe
it's real,
that.
absolutely. I'm down. Mike Dye gets it. Shout out.
But yeah, you mentioned playing with Young Bull. That's the band, the metal band that you're playing in right now.
Yes.
And Treat, the singer, also has been DJing for like a few years now.
For a while, he's OG AssJamz crew.
Never heard of him.
Oh,
just kidding.
We're talking about Young Grandpa.
Young Grandpa.
You know.
There you go.
Shout out the Young Grandpa. Shout out the Bando Boys.
Yes.
But no, Treat's been with it for like since the beginning. He's the homie, and it's cool that him and I get to do band stuff together because we always vibed on that, and then also do DJ stuff together. And his DJing style and like the stuff he plays is totally different from what we're doing. So it's cool that I get to learn from like the shit that he plays, and I'm like, oh shit, that would be cool. I think that would play at Dempsey's or that would play at Riot Room real well. Mm-hmm. So it's cool to have that. It's almost the same way that we were doing initially.
It's exactly the same
the dichotomy between being in a band with somebody but also DJing with them.
Yeah.
You get to share two parts of your lives. It's cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Young Bull has an LP that's coming out soon.
Yes, we do.
On the company.
Mm-hmm. Shout out.
Yeah, what can you say about that right now?
I don't think we have a hammered down date yet, but we do have test presses, so it should be soon. And once that shit's out, we're gonna throw some shows and have some fun, and hopefully, you know, like do some small regional tours, some stuff or whatever, because the record is fucking awesome. It's so good. It's super weird for me to be like, yo, this is my band, but I mean, it really rules. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, do you think a lot has changed since the first demo came out? Like,
definitely, we definitely found the way that Young Bull kind of came to be was so like piecemeal. It started with just Jamaki and Pando, I'm pretty sure, doing some stuff. And then I came in, and then Brian came in, and then we were like just a band with no vocalist for a while, and then finally convinced Treat to do it because Treat and Jamaki played in Dick Lynch, the Cockneys tribute shit that happens. They like played Brick recently, I think.
Yeah.
But So Jamaki was like, oh, damn, Treat's a fucking badass vocalist. We got to get him in the shit. And we convinced him. And ever since then, we just started writing some songs, but we finally definitely started to kind of, exactly, Bobby. We've figured out how to coalesce and, like, write some really cool shit and, like, really hone the sound from just, like, a bunch of dudes who love playing heavy music to, like, a band writing heavy music, which is tight.
Yeah.
And do you have anything like that you've been working on coming up? Like, are you still doing a lot of stuff with High Westus? And
yeah, absolutely. So I still DJ for him, and we play a lot of again, a lot of replay stuff that happens in Lawrence, a lot of local stuff around here. Shouts out to him. He's got a new record coming out. Oh, I don't know if there's an exact, again, release date that I can say or anything like that, but I'm sure he will alert the masses whenever that's done. And again, like ever since, again, the beginning, whether it's DJing or playing an instrument of some sort, we're always writing. So that's where I'm at too, writing my own stuff, and that will blossom whenever it needs to blossom. Mm. Yeah.
And there's one last thing I wanted to touch on was I'm sure you've had people like kind of ask you guys about it. But I was just kind of curious because I never talked to you about it. But there's also the other DJ night that happened for a while called Booty Jams, and I think that kind of started around the same time.
I'm pretty sure, from what I understand, there was.
Oh, man.
What's up, Bobby?
What up?
Booty Jams was. I never got to go, but we have homies that went like all the time. And apparently, it was the shit.
Apparently, it was super dope.
And I'm really bummed that like we never got to collab.
I wish we could have gone. Yeah, apparently it started a little after we did, and obviously that was Casey based, and this was Lawrence based. And,
you weren't really kind of in touch at any point.
Nah, I wish we could have, and I'm glad you asked that because not many people even remembered or know about it anymore. But I mean, it's the same thing. Just because it centers around butts doesn't mean it can't, it can't coexist.
Yeah.
They were throwing a cool night around here, and so were we, in Lawrence, and we were just trying to have a good time. It's a shame that
I'm really
that
bummed
we
that it doesn't.
never did anything.
Maybe
we can work out a
Booty
reunion.
Jams.
Yes.
If you're listening,
Please.
let's do the
ultimate
the
ass
return.
reunion.
Yeah, be fucking
or
down.
something. I don't know.
I've just heard so many great things about it.
Exactly.
I never got to experience it. I always wanted to.
Exactly.
By the time we were able to like reach out and like actually have something to give in return, they were done. So
we wish.
Yeah.
We wish. Yeah.
Awesome.
Shout out to Booty Jams.
Is there anything else that you guys have been working on that we need to know about? Do you have any AssJamz shows coming up?
I mean, hopefully we'll have something planned. We're in the works trying to plan something for the birthday.
Right.
I'd like to do something at Granada again. Nothing set in stone, just a bunch of shit we just want to do.
Right.
I'm putting it out in the universe now.
Absolutely. We just want to do more cool things. And that's a beautiful thing. If the people need to know anything, it's all a discussion, and it can all happen very easily. We want to do more different things. I'm trying to do an R&B night around here. Just more different types of vibes that I think people are wanting. Again, maybe that's just a Kansas City thing, but we're just trying to have a good time and provide something positive, safe, and cool for people who want to be out there.
Awesome.
I'm trying to DJ on a boat at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So if anybody has a boat,
Yep.
I'll DJ on it.
Yep. Right? Just anything cool. If you have a cool idea, let's do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're kind of open.
The end. Yeah.
But yeah, so people can follow Shuttlecock on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's at ShuttlecockMag. The website is shuttlecockmusic.com for all the articles. There's shuttlecockmag.bigcartel.com for the store. You can get t-shirts, photozines, and buttons. And you can subscribe to the podcast on our YouTube channel or Apple Podcasts. Where can people find you guys online?
I am at Boats on pretty much everything. 2 S's, BOATSS. We're AssJamz with a Z on Instagram. We post photos and just shit like that.
And on Twitter. If you type in hashtag AssJamz on your Googles, you could probably find us and every sort of thing. I am John is the New Black, at JON is the New BLK. Again, if you type that in, you should be able to find me. Also, for the record, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
you
for
were doing
real.
something wonderful, and I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you.
Nothing
Hell
but.
yeah.
I appreciate you guys being on the show.
Hey, thanks for
It's
having
an
us,
honor.
man.
Awesome.
Yeah.